A safety feature on newer iPhones causing challenges for first responders in Johnson County. And we've got the royal portraits that are in tonight. We'll take a peek at that. Welcome inside the comfy confines of the Channel 13 studios, Monday, 10 o'clock. Ladies, have a good weekend?
Yes.
A wonderful weekend.
It was kind of a busy weekend, wasn't it?
It was a long weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a restful one, but still really good.
Well, we're talking about Rev. I mean, all three of us were able to get there. Did you have fun?
And the marathon, too.
Yeah, the mini marathon was in the morning.
That, so.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Yeah, we had a good time. The weather held out on mini marathon day, which was nice, and Rev was beautiful.
Rev was nice, and I think that event finished just in time because we ended up with some pretty decent thunderstorms late Saturday night into early Sunday morning.
Right.
And we had some storms today.
Sure did.
And pictures appear to confirm what the National Weather Service is calling a land spout tornado. Now, you might be thinking, what in the world is a land spout tornado? What in the world
What
is a land
semester of meteorology was
tornado?
this?
Well, it has to do with the initiation of the rotation.
All right.
So if you think of a tornado as this rotating column of air, which a tornado is and a land spout tornado is as well, but the tornado descends from the cloud. A land spout tornado, the origination of the rotation is at the surface, and it gets sucked up into the cloud.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you can tell this on radar?
I think you can't tell it on radar because they both rotate the same on radar. You can visually.
Okay, so visually. Smart people that are seeing these can tell the difference between a land spout and a tornado.
A land spout tornado and a regular tornado.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and some of the pictures that we received and some of the video that we've seen up near the Delphi and Flora area. So in that area from White into Carroll counties. Storms
are done though tonight.
Yeah, and no damage. So at least at this point, no information on any damage from that earlier today. And a land spout tornado typically on the low end, on the weaker side.
All right.
But still can cause some wind damage. But nothing reported out of this one. And live Doppler 13 radar shows just a few spotty showers left. We are north of Indianapolis, up near the Kokomo area, and then up northeast toward Fort Wayne, where we find some of the steadier rain. There is still a severe thunderstorm watch in effect down to our south and west. A couple of big thunderstorm cells in this watch area across southern sections of Missouri into southern Illinois, but those are not moving our way. So we turn our attention to really a weather pattern change. Yes, we had to dodge some rain and storms this weekend. It was also kind of muggy. We're going to get some relief from that mugginess. Temperatures will start to fall a bit. Humidity drops. We'll be at 57 with clouds in the morning, 66 at noon. After a cloudy start, we'll be into some sunshine tomorrow. And right now, boy, the pick of the weekend, or the pick weekend, I'm already talking about the weekend. Good golly. Pick of the week is Wednesday. Lots of sunshine and highs, 70 to 75.
And we've got a couple of important events this weekend.
Yes.
You got the race, the Grand Prix on Saturday, and of course Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yes, and right now the pattern looks to turn a little unsettled. So from late Thursday all the way through Sunday, we'll have a daily storm chance. But similar to last weekend, we got everything in.
Yeah.
So we'll work around, obviously, the rain and storm chances and kind of fine-tune the timeline so you can make those plans a little better with a little more information later in the week.
Okay.
Do you think my mom would want to go to the Grand Prix for Mother's Day?
It's on Saturday. Mother's Day Sunday.
Yeah, it's close, though.
Yeah, but you got to celebrate her on Sunday.
Okay. We'll talk.
But sure, I would say yes, as long as she gets to do brunch on Sunday or something fun.
Does your mom like looking at race cars and
I don't know.
that kind of thing? Does she like loud noises?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
But it's interesting because the Grand Prix is the road course, right?
It is the road course.
And they will run in the rain. Obviously, they're not going to run in
different tires and all that. Yeah.
A big thunderstorm, but they will run in a little bit of rain, which is different than the oval, straight up.
That's a good point. Does she like loud noises? Scott, she's been yelling all of her life. All my life, she's been yelling at me.
Oh, she was the best thing I saw at Rev.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wait,
you brought your mom to Rev?
Yeah,
oh,
she
I
was
didn't
helping
know
me.
that. Okay,
Scott,
I didn't even see you
completely
there.
missed the memo.
I know, I did. I saw your photos. You look great. You both look great.
Yeah, it was a really fun time, but it was nice to see her.
Can I just say it was fun seeing Weekend Angela. I mean, oh my goodness. Weekend Angela is a hoot.
It's a different thing.
It's a different thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sign me up anytime.
More on Weekend Angela coming up on a different newscast. But let's turn our attention to this iPhone issue. So on some of the newer iPhones, there's this safety feature that is designed to alert first responders if you've been in a crash. But what's happening in Johnson County is this new feature is actually prompting first responders to show up and find out that there's no emergency at all. Here's our Jenny Runovich.
2 times in 2 days, Johnson County dispatchers got this message.
The owner of this iPhone was in a severe car crash and is not responding to their phone.
A distress call through crash detection. It's on iPhone 14s and calls for help on your behalf if it senses you've been in a wreck.
It can measure pressure from the airbag going off inside the car, velocity, sound.
But those 2 messages last week weren't wrecks at all. False alarms triggered first responders for nothing.
And we show up and we're standing there in the middle of nowhere and there's supposedly a crash there, but then if we look around a little bit closer, we find an iPhone.
Likely left on someone's car that fell on the ground and mistakenly detected a crash. The only injury, the busted iPhone.
There's an iPhone in cardiac arrest and not much we can do for it.
But false alarms take away from true emergencies. Across the country, it's happened a lot. 911 calls triggered by bumpy roller coaster rides, falls on ski slopes, or like here, a forgotten iPhone.
And we show up and we're going, there's no one here. But then it's the iPhone.
The good news is, had this been an actual accident, it's pinpoint accuracy. The phone was actually found right at this mailbox, right where first responders were sent.
Crash detection has saved lives.
Okay, buddy, I got you. We'll figure a way in.
Deputies in Florida made a dramatic rescue when a driver's iPhone dialed 911.
Stay back from the window, buddy. I'm going to bust it, okay?
My hope is that this type of technology in the iPhone is going to be a bonus in saving lives more than it's going to be a hindrance for public safety.
A tricky balance for technology, what's real danger and what's not. In Johnson County, Jenny Runovich, 13 News.
Thank you so much for that. So, ladies, did you watch any of the coronation over the weekend?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes and a no.
So did you record it? Because you had to work.
Yeah, so you know these streaming apps, they can do a lot.
Yeah, they
so
can.
I went home and I was flipping.
Okay.
Ah, there it is. So the coronation, this was the part where they were crowning the king
Yeah.
and crowning the queen.
Right.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, wee, let's talk about it, okay?
Okay.
First of all, I mean, the opulence of it all. I feel like if I was going to say one word to describe all of this,
There's the
opulent.
official
Yeah.
portrait of the king, King Charles III.
Look at that crown.
Yeah, there's
crown
some,
is something
there's some
else.
money on that crown. And there's the queen.
And it's so interesting to look at. And look at this. Look at this white. Her shoes were white too. Pointed toe. I was interested.
Pointed
And
toe.
all the details matter, Scott. Now, I read that they took a diamond out of this crown that was a diamond from India because the India government was complaining about it because I think Queen Victoria ended up taking it from the 11-year-old king of India. So, you know, there's a lot of
Whoa.
controversy around
Yeah.
this royal family, but opulence was
Yes.
clearly the word.
Okay, so speaking of controversy, you and I, we've talked about this whole thing between the sons, William and Harry.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay,
this
so
family drama.
So Harry shows up and he's by himself. Meghan stays behind because one of their kids has a birthday, right?
Yeah, Archie.
And Archie, okay. And
Sure,
so,
that's why.
Well, that's what they say.
That's why.
So Harry is sitting, and so my wife tells me that the person sitting in front of him has like a big feather or a hat that is clearly in his way.
Yeah,
Think that was planned?
probably. Well, and he was in the third row.
Yeah.
The third row. That's
Wait,
the only
the
thing I
third
did
row of royal family, but he's not royal, so he's just family? Is that what
So
made him?
was William
In the front
sitting
row.
in the front row?
Yeah, so there's, I only got that.
Well, he's king
I
to
got this
be.
from TMZ, so I really didn't watch. But,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so he was in the front, and then another row, and then another row back here
Yeah.
was Harry.
And then Feather Lady was
Feather Lady, I
sitting
guess, was in
right
the
in front.
Yeah.
And you know that hat, well.
So we couldn't see his reaction. I mean, it's tough to say just because she would have had to know that that's where it's going to sit.
Oh, you know that there was a
planned
seating
all
chart,
of this
right?
Right, the seating chart. Did they adhere to the seating chart is the question. You know?
And he didn't go up on the balcony to do the wave, right?
No, he
wasn't-
left right away.
He didn't.
He stayed for whatever he had to stay, and then got in a car and left.
But can I say, I'm glad that he went. You
I am
know,
too. I
This
am
is
glad
a
he went.
major,
Right.
major family event on a personal level. This is a big family event, you know, not to
Right.
mention what it means for an entire nation and nations around the country, around the world. but I'm glad that he went.
So were there any shots of William and Harry talking?
No.
There was none of
don't
that?
think so.
Now, there was did anyone see behind the scenes? There was like a behind the scene, but it was hard to make out who it was. We'll have to Google it later.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I don't know if you saw, did you see any part of the actual crowning?
No, my wife
okay.
just kind of updated me when I came home from the mini marathon, gave me the highlights.
Yeah,
so.
we'll talk more about it off camera because the people probably don't care anymore. But there was a woman dressed in teal to the nines, and I forget her official title, but she was carrying the sword. She was a sword bearer.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, that job looks important. She had 2 royal swords, and this was her job to follow the king around like this with the sword in her hand.
Wow.
We'll talk about it later. I'm sure the people don't care. But it's interesting. Even if you don't care, it's still a historic moment that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, it was interesting to see those official portraits and seeing the king and queen and so anyway. All right. So tomorrow morning when we wake up, tomorrow a pretty good day?
Pretty good day. It'll be a cloudy start, a sunny finish. Temperatures will be 70 to 75. Actually, the next couple of days, lots of sunshine Wednesday.
Okay.
good.
And be sure to weigh in whether or not Felicia ought to invite her mom to the
Grand Prix
on Saturday. She
You think Mom wants
likes
to go?
loud noises.
Yes,
Likes race cars.
maybe.
Okay.
Do you have good seats, or could you get good seats?
I don't have seats.
Okay.
Is it sold out?
No.
I don't think that one is.
I don't think that would be,
Yeah.
right?
But
I just, honestly, I found it a bit more interesting. Maybe different is the best word. I was going to say more interesting than an Indy 500. But
well, I think a road course.
I like that
seeing
it's,
it,
you
yeah.
know, it's weaving and winding.
And they
It
go
has-
the opposite direction, right?
They do. In fact, they do. All
it
right.
has some different variables.
Yeah.
Jim Yates says, back home in Indiana, no more storms now, please.
Okay.
Glenn's excited about it. Fulton says, Felicia, bring your mom to the race.
Okay.
And Victoria joining us tonight. We've got Teresa saying no to the race too loud.
Maybe not.
Ralph joining us from Alabama. We've got Jennifer from Williamsburg. Teresa joining, saying evening, friends. So we've got a lot of, and Betty saying good evening. So great to have all of you with us. So tonight at 11, we're going to go ahead and break down the big national stories and, of course, the big local stories. One of the stories that we're covering tonight, Emily Longnecker went over to Brownsburg, and the school board had a decision tonight in terms of those staff members who were allegedly involved in some mistreatment of a child with special needs. So we'll share with you that decision tonight at 11.
What they decide.
Oh, we got to have people
okay.
watch tonight at 11.
That was a
one.
tease, folks.
That's right. So we have that and more coming up in about 45 minutes over on Channel 13. We'll see you then. Good night.